welcome back. Out here at the extension, we're doing onto the saw shack where we're gonna store wood. So what I'm what I'm looking at, okay, so what I'm looking at today is what the cost would be if we did it all with bought lumber from. Most of our stuff comes from Menards just because it's close. So if you go to the big box store and buy just the lumber that we've used here, what does that come out to be? Pretty common thing people do. Thought it'd be interesting to see. This is a pretty small project. Not a whole lot to it, but thought it'd be interesting to kind of go through it and do. So this is going to exclude the metal and any of the hardware pieces, like screws and stuff. We did have to buy bolts, and we'll have to buy bolts for up there too. Um, so it's going to exclude all that kind of stuff. This is just going to be looking at the lumber to basically get it to this stage. So we have the poles in the ground, header boards up, rafters up, purlins on the top, and then our gutter board on the front, and then on the two sides. So gonna kind of look at that. So just kind of give you an idea. Did a quick tally of what I thought it would be. So I'll kind of give you that next. Okay, so kind of lay out what I have here. So we have the three. I call them 6x6s. If we were gonna do this, that's probably what we'd put in. We had those phone poles sitting around, so we used those instead. But I'll say 6x6s, and those would have to be treated since they're in the ground. And they're 6x6x10s is what we'd need there. Next up, we got we have four 2x10x14s. So that's either 2x10s or 2x8s. So those are going to be the headers. 14-foot long, so we have the 12-foot span, and but you need to overlap them a little bit, so you actually need 13 feet, so you can get 14s. I think pretty readily, so it's either going to be 14 or 16s. So we'll have to look at that and kind of see what's more readily available. And then I have the 7 2x6x16s, so I'm going to sub those out instead of our 3x4 rafters. Because if we're going to go buy lumber, that's what we'd use for the rafters instead. Let's see. So next up we have 4 1x6x16s. So those are going to be the two on the ends and then the two on the front. So basically the gutter board type pieces. And then kind of rounding up 22x4x16s. So I think we used about 18 of them, but that's not including like cutting the pieces for the overhang. So kind of rounded those up to about 20. So basically kind of where we're at. Um, so anyway, so now I'll kind of go through, look up, and try to post, um, kind of like what the prices are of those things, multiply it out, and kind of see what that cost would be. So we have the mill, so we've milled all of that material that's up there. We have lots of red oak right now, so most of it's red oak. The purlins on top are, it's not poplar, but it's a tree very similar to poplar, the tulip poplar we have around here. So, we have a couple different types of wood, but I'll just look it all up in pine because that's typically what you buy as construction lumber. So I'll do everything as like construction lumber, and the only thing that'll have to be treated are the things the three posts that are in the ground. So that'd be interesting to just kind of see. I know I did the 2x4s whenever we cut those, and I don't remember exactly how many we had, but it worked out to be just shy of $200 in just 2x4s. So kind of a prelude to, what kind of cost there is in just that. We did look it up, and we're gonna have about $500 right now, $600 in metal, alone. So that's where a lot of the cost ends up coming from, just because the metal roof is expensive right now, and we need 16-foot pieces to be able to lap back into the existing roof, then have the little bit of overhang we want. So and then we got to do 10 sheets across. It's like 9.5. So So I'll start looking up some of these things. It'll be interesting to see kind of what it comes out to be, because honestly, other than looking up the 2x4s, haven't done this before. But thought it'd be kind of neat to sit down and see kind of what it would be and just do a quick comparison. So let me, like I said, Menards is the thing that's around here, so I'll be looking stuff up on there and try to post it that way. So when doing stuff like this, Excel is definitely your friend. So just did the item, quantity, the price, and then some totals. So walk through here. So for the 6x6s, for the 3 of them, it'd be about $143. For the 2x10s that we need, it would be about $93. 76.86 for the 2x6s. 1x6s are $67, and then lastly for the 2x4s it'd be $159. So the total of that ends up being $541.22. So that's kind of what the overall cost of just the lumber ends up being. So that's probably about half the cost of kind of what we'll have in it, because that's about how much the metal will be around that cost. The pieces of lumber that we actually have is only 38 pieces, so overall that's not a lot, pretty small project, but you can see how that can add up pretty quickly when you're doing something like this. So that was kind of interesting just to kind of document that and see what it would come out to be, because I've honestly never really looked for like a complete project for something like this. And here went with, just what is common. Out there we use 3x4s for the rafters, and everything else is pretty much, the same. Um, like the headers, we ended up, kind of customizing those for the spot that we had. Same with the gutter boards. We ended up having to, we trimmed those to size for what we had. So we did some customization, which is um, the ability you have when cutting your own boards. So you have some of that flexibility, whereas this would obviously just be kind of the standard board you have. So just quick little video to kind of jot all this down and see how it works out to be. So hopefully you found this video interesting. Just kind of something a little bit different going through this project and what all it would take to have gone and bought all this. So thank you for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.